Hi, I'm Heather Gold, and I'm here with Neil Manvar of SAS Labs, and we're going to talk about selenium.
Yep.
What is it?
Yeah, so selenium, a lot of different ways that everyone goes about pronouncing it.
Potato.
Yeah, it drives the web browser just like a user would for functional testing. So it would open up the browser, go to some URL, you can have it click or send keys to some field and just do exactly like the user would. So you want to run these tests typically every time you change a code, so you have confidence that this code will work in the browser I ran the Selenium test on.
Does it work in the browser on the desktop and mobile, or just on the desktop?
So desktop and mobile, both of
both.
them. Yeah, so it's really great. You know, you can write a test suite or a test case and have it executed in parallel on the grid on all the different devices you support or all the different browsers you support, and get that feedback to your developers as soon as possible for them to move forward.
How did you first come across it?
Oh, interesting. Actually, it was probably like my first internship at Yahoo when I was in college. I got put in the quality engineering department. I didn't even know Selenium existed or anything, and it was a really hot topic at that point. Everyone was exploring automation in terms of testing, in regards to testing, and I started writing Selenium scripts, and then I started going to more conferences and more meetups and got introduced to Appium, and I really, saw that there's a need for these type of things, and I really at first saw that there was such a big divide between dev and QA, and if we can get that more closer knit and get people more hands-on, more writing tests, and get everyone writing tests, then it's just a better quality apps being released and more confidence and going forward in a faster accelerated pipeline.
All right. And so now that we're in a different era of different kinds of languages like Ajax, how do the more modern technologies affect Selenium, and how long has it been around?
So it was initially founded in 2004 as an internal tool and at ThoughtWorks by Jason Huggins, and then it got some more traction and it became open sourced, and in about 2007 or 8, I believe, it was officially announced as Selenium 2, or WebDriver got married with Selenium and it became Selenium 2.0 or Selenium WebDriver, and that is what we're using today. So it was completely kind of stabilized and official at 2007, 2008 timeframe.
Very cool. And how's it been impacted by Ajax?
So these Selenium at the time was testing not so, in our case, modern web applications. There wasn't that much responsiveness. There was not that much Ajax, like you said. So after the page is loaded, then stuff going out later and requesting some data and reflecting that back into the DOM and the product. So you really have to now wait for conditions to be present before doing something, whereas previously you click something, it takes you to a new web page and it completely loads up, and that's when the Selenium execution resumes.
You have to test completely differently.
Exactly. You have to wait for something to be present because you're not going to a new web page here. You're in one web application. You click something, it does some desired action, you wait for that desired action.
Is there another area in development you can think of where you have to really wait for something first instead of anticipating? It feels like such an anticipatory job.
Yeah, definitely. So with JavaScript, there's a lot of asynchronous stuff going on, and sometimes you're dependency loading or you're pulling in things from different places. So for example, in Yahoo, when we were working on Yahoo Mail source code, we launched the main product and then wait until everything was settled in and then fetch other things and put them right in. So at that point we had to wait till this has been rendered, then only fetch the CSS and make it look pretty, or then fetch the new JS and inject it in. So it's coming a little bit, it has its place in JS especially, where things are not synchronous.
What do you recommend to people who want to get started using it for testing, or their own creative ways of playing with things? I suppose you could use it for things other than testing.
You could, yeah, but its main use is testing. What I recommend is really integrate it with a test framework, get it into CI, and make sure it's a first-class citizen of the pipeline. Meaning, if your tests fail, don't push your code. Don't just execute your tests ad hoc, nightly based, or just randomly, or run them locally. Have a whole process and a structure, and make sure it's part of your CI/CD process. And if it fails, then someone's taking a look at it. And also, address your flaky tests as soon as possible, run in all the supported configurations. So set these standards and expectations from the beginning and then go forward. So don't start running all your tests against Chrome or Firefox only and then run them later against IE. Just run them all in parallel.
I'm curious, do people have to individually make the decision to do those things as a standard way to operate, or is there a way to operate, to operationalize that kind of stuff and standardize where it won't run unless you do it that way?
So yeah, that's where you want to get in.
Use Selenium, your Selenium.
Yeah, that's where you want to leverage CI and tools such as that to make sure that every time you make a code change or every time you raise a pull request, these tests are passed. For example, when I was at Yahoo, we made it such that you had to have adequate code coverage on your feature branch or on your pull request, and only then would your code be eligible to be merged. So kind of creating these enforcement criteria.
You're on top of it, Neil.
I try.
Yeah. What do you do at Sauce Labs?
I serve as the solution architect, so I make sure that I want to help the industry leverage test automation to deliver quality code frequently, as well as speaking engagements, papers, and a little bit of pre-sales and post-sales as well. So go around, see what the customers are doing, and guide them, and leverage my experience to make sure they don't make those same mistakes and have yield really good rewards with automated testing, and they really see some benefits out of it.
Cool. Thanks for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Heather.